power's out. It's always that super eerie quiet. The store was actually out of power first. It came on, went off, came on, went off, so that obviously affects sales. I don't know if the warehouse is out of power, but last I heard they were doing okay. So this morning I plugged in my big battery, which is only got like one bar out of 5, so not gonna be super useful. But I thought I would talk about some of what I do and what you guys can be doing for power outages. So first thing, don't shoot videos and show stuff off because you're gonna open the door and stuff, but yeah, so it's windy. You can see the trees, and you can see that big branch right there that came down. And stuff like that you know, it's gonna cause. It's also been raining super duper hard. I guess I can close the door and show you guys that. The pond's crazy. It's not that cold though, which is nice. I bought a little camper van I haven't got to use yet for the Get Outdoors channel, but it's been raining non-stop for like a week, really hard. And so the creek, that's usually a little creek, is more like a river. And that goes, you know, all the way down our property and feeds into the pond and all that. In fact, my neighbor right across over here, basically right through there, his shop has collapsed. That tree right, let's see, right there snapped and came down and just ruined his garage right there. Like, it's, you know, that used to be 2 more car garage, so from there just womp. So anyway, back to inside. Get you out of the, I'm sure, horrible audio. All right, so now we're in the warm again. So first things I did is I turned up the heat in here a little bit, and I turned up the heat in our house a little bit. Like, we're not looking to fluctuate the temperature a ton for, you know, the fish or the animals, but we know if it's out for a long time, it's gonna slowly sink down. These guys always act so much different when the pumps are off and stuff. They school around and they're a lot more, well, they're not more active, just different. Rosy bar's looking good under natural sunlight. So that is one advantage we do have, is some natural sunlight. So you'll be able to see in here. Water temperature management, big tank. It'll hold temperature better. If I was absolutely on my A game, which I won't be, right? Because we have a store, we have a warehouse, we have home. But optimally, if I knew right when the power comes back on, basically what I would do now is I'd unplug it, power comes back on, I would clean it. I already know I'm not gonna have the time to do that. So what's gonna happen is some of that ammonia and stuff will go in. It's not optimal, but then I'll run water changes. That's what I'll do when power comes back on and we can get warm water again. I shut down the laptops because laptops don't go off right when the power goes out, right? But those can be used as battery backup for the USB air pumps. And since the store was out, I was telling Robert to tell customers that do come in, because we still will sell because people need those types of products. Tell them, like, you can plug this into your laptop and run it in a pinch, you know? Like, you're gonna want your laptop to charge your phone and all those kinds of things, but in a pinch, it could work. The auto feeders are still gonna fire because they're battery operated. Not the best thing in the world when you don't have power, right? Humidity's gonna rise in here. Not the best, but nothing I can do about it. And then my goal was to have this big battery bank ready so that I could just plug in one of the air pumps down there. I don't have that ready. I could go and drive around my car a bunch and get that ready, and it'd be like 9 hours of driving, so I'm not gonna do that. But I do have generators, and you know, everyone always says, get a bunch of generators, do this, do that. Yes, we have a bunch of generators, but there is this lag time, I feel like. Is it out for 20 minutes? Is it out for 2 hours? And anyone that's really dealt with generators, you know, it's kind of a pain. Well, I was distracted by things that are running by power that you wouldn't think. So, like that sensor for garage door opener must run on battery, which is weird. Maybe it just has a reserve battery in this unit up here. So yeah, now I can hear the neighbors talking outside. It's obviously this grainy video because there's not a lot of light. And yes, I did get braces. Anyway, so you've got this dilemma of, is this gonna be out for, you know, a week, a day, 10 minutes? So the power flickered, went off, right? I think this will not be super long. There's no way to know though. So you develop a battle plan, and the battle plan is right now, keep things cold, keep things hot. I don't worry about oxygenation from the way I keep my tanks, even at the store, until at least 8 hours. You might have a goldfish feeder tank at your store, or you might have something that's way overstocked with fry. That might be cause for concern. But for me, I'm gonna save all energy, and probably what I'll do, it's about 2:30 right now in the afternoon. I probably won't make too many moves until it's been an hour at least. And what do those moves look like? That'll be like, all right, well, I know exactly where a generator is. I know we've got some gas, but should I go get more gas? Do I think I'm really gonna run this overnight? Finding more batteries, and my wife's getting candles ready. Like, it's still light out, so that's fine, right? For going into the night. She also, earlier in the day, she boiled water and put it in some thermoses just in case we wanted soup or something, right? So yeah, the first hour is pretty much do nothing and just feel like this sucks. I don't have internet, I'll film a video, kill time basically, and put things together like, okay, what do I need to get ready? Like, I could run to the warehouse if they have power, I could buy a bunch of USB air pumps. Like, that doesn't make sense, and it wouldn't make sense for you guys.
Did you know that having air pumped into your tank can be beneficial for oxygenation and can also power your aquarium filtration? Hey everyone, I'm Zenzo from Aquarium Co-op. I run almost all of my aquariums on sponge filters because they're inexpensive, they provide additional oxygen for my fish, and are excellent for filtration. Now, there are many pumps on the market and most need to be plugged into an outlet to work, but when there's a power outage, they don't work. In fact, I had a power outage here a few months ago and was scrambling to get air to some of my tanks. That's where the Aquarium Co-op air pump comes in. Like most pumps, it operates by being plugged into a power source. The difference is that this pump can also run on battery power or on USB power from a battery power supply like a battery power bank. The lithium-ion battery in the Aquarium Co-op air pump is capable of running continuously for up to 6 hours and on the power save mode for up to 15 hours. The Aquarium Co-op air pump can supply air to up to 3 aquariums when paired with a gang valve, giving you peace of mind that your fish will be safe and be able to breathe during a power outage or any disruption in power supply. It can also make a great travel air pump if you're moving or need to take your fish on the road with you. Get your Aquarium Co-op air pump today at aquariumcoop.com.
My big thing is do nothing. Don't feed, just let nature take its course. In the wild, as you've seen in Peru and that kind of stuff, there's gonna be temperature fluctuations, there's gonna be stuff that has no oxygen at all, there's gonna be all these different parameters. Most fish will adapt. What they don't adapt to is us screwing it up. And that is like, oh, well, they were looking hungry. Oh, well, I poured it in boiling water, right? You never want to pour boiling water in because the water goes in, it will scald stuff. You would actually take like a 5-gallon bucket, put in a little bit of hot water, swirl it with tank water, feel it. Okay, that feels about, 78 degrees, should feel a little cold to you. Then you can put that in if you're really in that situation. But basically, I do nothing for 8 hours, and then it's, okay, well, we better run some oxygen, some air, right? And you only need to run it for like an hour. A lot of people go like, okay, it's been out for 8 hours, I better run it 8 hours. If you've ever had a shortage of oxygen in an aquarium, it gets fixed fairly quickly with a decent air stone, right? The other thing is we run sponge filters on everything, and that makes it really easy, right? So if I had an inverter for my car, which I think I left it in Peru, or my big battery backup was all the way powered up, which that's a fault on me. I moved it, and it used to always have a spot in my old fish room, and for this fish room, I was like, I just set it over here for now, I'll get it set up, and then I didn't, right? And so now it's got 1 bar of power, which 1 bar of power will probably run it for 20 or 30 minutes, or I guess it could be more, I don't know. It's a big battery, but like I could drive this battery right now, I could drive it to a family member's house and have it plugged in and charging and that kind of stuff. And maybe we'll do that later in the day. Maybe we're gonna go, hey, it's gonna be cold and rainy and all that. We'll drive, go have dinner with someone, charge it, leave it there to charge up the battery overnight. And then if it's still not running, we'd plug it in the morning. I'm in the same boat that I've always been in the last, 15, 20 years, and that is power's out, gonna rely on battery, gonna rely on, candles and that kind of stuff. And for the most part, every year I kind of go longer and longer. Wow, there's a lot hitting this building right now. I don't know if this video will be out and our product will be out, but we have in my opinion, a much better battery-powered air pump coming out. And it's landing any day now. And it's so that when it's plugged in, Basically, it does what I always want an air pump to do. When it plugs in, it works as a normal air pump. It also has a lithium-ion battery, so it stays charged, right? And when the power goes out, it will run for 3 hours automatically. So you could be away from home, power went out. Don't worry, any aquarium that has that has got 3 more hours. Now, if you are home, there's a button on it you can go press that will put it into a last longer mode. And what it does is it does air for a minute, turns off for a minute. Does air for a minute, turns off for a minute. And so that's gonna let you get 6 hours continuous use with just a press of a button, right? You can for sure get to like the morning after just by having those air pumps, which I don't have any right now because they're being manufactured. We've got a few samples, and I think I gave them all away to employees to test and friends and stuff. But yeah, so I'm excited for that product. It'd be really nice to have it right now. I guess I learned from the store, right? Between home and the store over the years, the power outages always came down to an hour or two or long. And so every time I would like bust out the generator and get all the cords ran and do all of that, power would kick back on. And then you've got an hour or more of putting stuff away. Wow. It is crazy right now. Well, I won't be able to upload this video quite yet. It's probably not the most interesting video we've ever done, but maybe we'll chime back in if it goes on longer, right? Maybe this will end up being a long video of like, okay, well, here's hour 10 and stuff's crazy, or day 7, which I really hope it's not day 7. That's gonna be bad times for us. It should be manageable. That's the thing is, don't freak out too much. Don't feed, don't be changing water. Don't be, you can cover tanks. For me, I can't. The good news is I have a lot of water and that retains heat, but it also takes a long time to heat up. We'll chime back in, or not. If it comes back on and everything's dandy, we won't. But I suspect the wind hasn't stopped. That's always the worrying part. It's not like someone hit a pole. It's a storm still going. So, crews I'm sure are working, but, oh, we fixed one, 2 broke. Fixed one, 2 broke type of deal. So we'll hope for the best.
Eventually.
The power has returned, basically 7.5 hours later. Power's back on. Everything looks to be doing just fine. Now, I did encounter a new problem that I hadn't encountered before. That was this. That was me going, whoops, what is that? That's a wet spot. That's not what you want to see when the power's out. I figured it out pretty quickly. It's condensation. So basically colder outside, warmer inside, but all that air, all the humidity collected up there. I've never had anything like that happen before. I wonder if it happened on the other ones. Yep. So by having all dehumidification off, so there's obviously those, there's these vents here, and then also the vents here. With that being off all day, well, not all day, 8 hours, humidity built up in here. So it's definitely humid. Everyone seems to be doing okay though. A little bit of cloudiness in some of the more populated tanks. I mean, Ladybird's, irritated. The lights are back on now. She's like, I was already sleeping. Neighbor's still running their generator for some reason, but overall, I'd say weathered the storm pretty good, and be a little more prepared. I'll have that actual big battery ready next time. Not that we needed it. I guess the moral of the story, I'm not going to do anything for at least 8 hours. Still holds true 20 years later. I wasn't going to do anything even till morning. I said, okay, morning, I'll go buy more gas for the generator. I'll run the extension cords. I'll do all the things I'm going to do tomorrow during the daylight. So instead, tomorrow I'll just be picking up 4 billion branches. And, obviously I'll check on the fish again. One last important thing, I won't feed tomorrow. Like the auto feeders will feed, but I'm not going to specifically feed any fish myself. I want them to be able to catch back up if there's any biological load from just power being out. So, like basically like this, stuff like this, where it's like, that's cloudy. Doesn't make sense to put more food into that system. Instead, we can let it, digest. And even if it looks good tomorrow morning. So, all right, guys, hopefully you'll have luck in your next power outage. It's 10 o'clock. I want to write some emails.